Welcome to Ultimate Playlist. I'm Matt. That's Briggs. And this is a show where Briggs and I come up with the top 10 songs around a theme to create its ultimate playlist, each one of us contributing our own personal top fives. And today we are going to construct the list that is the ultimate 1990s songs about a playlist, or so about a place playlist. These titles are tough for me. I don't know why.
I know, it's right.
90 songs about a place playlist.
Yeah, that doesn't roll off the tongue really, but yeah, songs with a place and a title, a city, a country, whatever. There's a ton of songs like this. And we can get into this a little more. I did find the 90s was a little more challenging than maybe some other decades.
Yeah, 90s was challenging. And I had to expand. I don't know that I just did are they all in the title? Yeah, okay, good. I did stay because I was having some trouble there. I was like, maybe there's some other songs about a place that doesn't have it in the title.
Right. Oh, I see.
And I thought I had to maybe expand out to there, but I ended up not having to. So I stayed within the realm of the rules, which I know is super important to you.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
I'm a stickler. I'm a big stickler for the rules.
Indeed. All right. Do you want to just get started with your number 5?
Let's do it. My number 5 is Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead by Warren Zevon.
I called up my friend Leroy on the phone. I said, buddy, I'm afraid to be alone. 'Cause I got some weird ideas in my head about things to do in Denver when you're dead.
Nice one. So I'm sure there's a lot of these I have not pulled. Like I'm sure there's like I'm sure I missed a bunch, and actually hopefully I uncovered some out there that maybe you missed as well.
Totally.
Yeah.
There, I found a decent number of them, but not a whole lot that I liked a lot.
No. Yeah.
This is a semi deep cut from Warren Zevon, who I'm a big fan of to begin with. This is off his 1991 album, Mr. Bad Example. This song is probably more famous for being associated with the film of the same name that came out a few years later.
I was going to ask.
So they didn't ask him. They just went to do it. And then he got pissed and was basically ended up letting them use the title if they put his song over the ending credits. But it was like a star-studded film. It was like Andy Garcia, Christopher Lloyd, Treat Williams, Steve Buscemi, Christopher Walken.
Buscemi, my friend. Buscemi? Buscemi.
How do you say it? Is that how you say it? I don't know.
I say it Buscemi. I mean, I'm not the best at names, I guess, but Buscemi is how I say it.
I always heard Buscemi. I don't know, man. Buscemi.
Now it sounds wrong to me, though.
Stevie B, legendary Stevie B. However you say it, that guy's awesome. But even with all those folks in the movie, including Christopher Walken, it was a bomb. And people called it kind of like a Pulp Fiction clone. It was, and I guess it wasn't as good. I don't know. I never saw it. Did you see that movie?
Yeah, I've seen it. I really liked it at the time. Yeah. They shake hands. The big thing, they shook hands like this. They would go palm to palm because that's the way that they would have to kind of shake hands when one was behind glass in prison.
Interesting.
Yeah. I thought it was a good movie. I liked it, but I haven't seen it in probably 20 years at this point. So who knows? That's funny. So did they have the concept and then like, oh, I like the title of that song? Or did they come up with the concept of the movie based on the title of the song? That's what I want to know.
Unclear. I do not know the answer to that question. I'm not sure. But they did have to clear it with Warren himself, who didn't want to do it at first. And then they talked him into it because he let them. Well, he enforced that they used the song over the credits.
Right. And they probably paid him pretty good for it.
I would imagine. Maybe something.
And he wasn't the biggest star either, so a little bit of money.
No, especially not in 1991. He was big in the 70s with like Werewolves of London is his big hit, and Excitable Boy. Those are from the same album. But he's kind of a steady albums. And they're pretty good in general. There's some turkeys in there, but usually there's at least some good songs because his songwriting and craft is always great, and it's usually got some good humor and they're pretty funny.
Yeah, he's not my favorite, but I do love Lawyers, Guns, and Money. I mean, I think that's
it's a great
fantastic song. And I was listening to this one too, and it's recorded really well. Like it sounds good.
Yeah,
it's a very good mix.
It was produced by Waddy Wachtel, his guitar player. He plays on all that stuff, Werewolves of London and stuff. He's a great guitar player. And he did some albums too, and this is one of them. He produced. Porcaro plays on most of this album on drums, not on the song, unfortunately, but the drums are good on this song, but it's not Porcaro.
Yeah.
But he played on, I think, the rest of the album, or most of it anyways. So it's a good band. But
yeah, because
Yvonne,
because you're sort of used to hearing if it's kind of a B level or C level, especially at that time before there was digital record, like really clean digital recording. You kind of expect that the recording qualities are going to be more home, but no, I mean, that sounds great.
No, it sounds great. Yeah, it's a good sounding album for sure.
Yeah. Good one.
Unfortunately, Warren died in 2003, mesothelioma. But he wrote a lot of good music, and I like his stuff, and this was a good one, I think.
This is a good one. Yeah. Nothing wrong with this song. I would never, totally forgot that it existed in the 90s. I never think of it as the 90s. Yeah.
Totally. Kind of a deep cut, I guess.
Indeed. Okay, well, shall we move on to my number 5 or anything else you want to say about that? Okay. My number 5 is Southside by Moby.
I see myself in the pouring rain. I watch hope come over me.
There you go, Moby with the great Gwen Stefani too there.
Yeah, right.
Backups. South Side, of course, refers to the South Side of New York where he was living at the time. This, of course, is This album is what broke Moby. Like I never knew who Moby was before this album.
Right.
And then maybe this album is, I don't know. It's got top 20 most recognizable albums ever. Just like sheer recognizable. All the songs, you know them because he licensed the absolute shit out of it.
This was like when that all started, like heavily, right? Like before that, people would do a re-record or something like that if they wanted a song. Occasionally, they would have something in a commercial or whatever. But literally, like every track on this is in some commercial or whatever, right?
Every single track. The last track to receive some sort of licensing money was a track called 7, which I think is like a minute-long song. There's not much there. And they did like a little celebration after it because it was like however many tracks, 15 tracks or something.
Wow.
And some huge ones too, like Volkswagen commercials,
Bailey's
commercials, Amex. I mean, just huge stuff. And the music, it had a moment. Moby had this moment in 1999 and 2000, and he just was a rocket ship and huge. This album sold probably 12, 13 million copies, something like that.
Wild.
And it licensed everywhere. He was just, and he had this huge moment and then kind of gone. I mean, he's been doing music ever since, and this was his 5th album. It's not like he wasn't doing music before. But after this, it was a very sharp decline in public acknowledgement of his music, and he kind of went away. But it was just so, so I kind of like, I don't know, I've got some negative feelings towards it. Like it's just kind of this pop kind of sellout thing, but it really isn't. I listened to it again today and the songs are really good. Like you didn't hear blues. It's very blues and roots based samples throughout this thing. And some of them are really innovatively done and sound really awesome. Especially how he did it, which was more down tempo, and it was kind of it's the perfect music to you could put in a commercial and it wouldn't just take over the entire scene. Like it just works really well. So, and it was also a very innovative approach for him and his management too to try to get it out there. It literally broke him. Like it's because people heard it. Southside, I think, is his only top 40 hit. And this album only went to like 28 on Billboard, even though it sold 12 million copies or something. So what that means to me is it was such a slow, long burn of the public realizing what this was because they were encountering it on all these movies and commercials and things. That's what made it popular. It wasn't just like radio hits that, you know what I mean? It was slow, like kind of marketing thing. It was very smart, and I shouldn't hold that against the licensing. I shouldn't hold against him. I mean, it's still a good album. There's still a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
How do you feel
especially in this day and age, I mean that
Yeah.
the only way to make money off your music now is to license it to
That's right.
something, and everyone does it. I mean, you could argue that he's kind of ahead of his time in that fact.
Exactly.
But this was still like when people would, call you a sellout or something like that. But like
Right.
this music is kind of sellout, you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
it's right down the middle. It's like you said, it's kind of inoffensive, has broad appeal. It's in like the adult contemporary zone
A bit.
of
Yeah.
electronic music, which is why it was so successful. I mean, if it's going on a TV commercial that everyone watches, it's got to have some sort of broad appeal.
It does.
Yeah. I don't, this never really resonated with me. I was never a big Moby fan. I do appreciate his collection of gear. He's got a massive collection of like drum machines, like anything you can think of. There's a video out there where they go into Moby's studio and he shows off some of his crap, and he's got anything you can think of for drum machine. It's pretty cool. It's like a real archival sort of thing.
I mean,
but
what
guess
else
they
do you
all work
need
or whatever.
too? I mean,
I know.
that's his art. You know what I mean?
Totally.
So, might as well just kind of have it all. He was a very good experimenter. He definitely,
Yeah.
he definitely liked to he felt he was taught classical piano, I think, and guitar as a kid. He started playing music as a 9-year-old, but just he felt it contained him too much to be on an instrument,
Okay.
which is why he moved into electronic music. And so he's just that kind of guy who wants to try to find different sounds and
Right.
And stuff. But then he had, I don't know, the album after this was really cheesy. He really gets exposed. His voice is on this album a lot, but it doesn't offend. Like later on, he tries to sing a bit more. It's
Right.
like becomes a focus, like that Stars song, or we should all be Stars song, which is a piece of shit.
Yeah. Mhm.
But yeah, I'm not a Moby guy really, but
Me either.
but I have to be fair, and I look back and I listen to it today, and I'm like, it's still good. Like it's good. He did a good
Okay.
job with this album. It sounds good. There's some cool stuff in there. And I know every single goddamn song. So he did a
Yeah,
good
right.
job.
Yeah, I feel like I don't need to listen to it again. I already got blasted with it in the 90s.
It's
and
true.
early 2000s.
Yeah, but it'd been a while. It was one of those things where, yeah, you heard it forever for a year, all over the place for a year, and then
Right.
it's like out of your, you don't think about it ever again. And so it
Yeah.
was 20 something years later. It's interesting to kind of go back, I think.
Yeah.
All
Right
right,
on.
so that's enough about Moby. He'll never make another list. I don't
Right.
think.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, top artists with whale names.
That's right. Okay, so let's go to your number 4 then.
Sure. My number 4 is Los Angeles by Frank Black.
I wanna live in Los Angeles, and I'm the one in Los Angeles, and I'm the one in South California. They got one in South Patagonia. I wanna live in Los Angeles, and I'm the one in Los Angeles. They got a bunch down in Mobleyville. They got a bunch more still.
There you go. Do you remember that song?
I have like no recollection of that. I just missed
Okay.
that whole thing. Frank Black
Gotcha.
is a Pixies guy, right? That's how that
Correct.
is? Okay, yeah. See,
Yep.
I just for some reason I sort of missed all of that.
Ah, okay. Oh, I was always a big fan. So his name was Black Francis when he was
Black
in
Francis.
Pixies.
Yeah.
And then they were kind of breaking up or on the verge of breaking up right around this time. So he did a solo album as Frank Black as the artist name and the album name. It's a pretty good album actually. And like the guitar player from Pixies is on it and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But this was a single, Los Angeles, and it's about how he wants to live in a different city called Los Angeles. There's one in South Patagonia, he says, which is true. There's like a Chilean city called Los Angeles, probably pronounced different, but he's kind of known for his weird out there lyrics
Well,
or
whimsical.
sci-fi kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
And,
he pronounced it
his-
Angeles.
Yeah,
Los Angeles.
yeah, totally. Los Angeles. Consistently throughout the song, I think he
Yeah.
says it, Los Angeles,
Yeah.
which is cool. They asked him about something in an interview or something like about the lyrical inspiration. He said, well, mostly I had to get it done as someone from the label was flying in the next day to listen. But he said it's
Yeah.
loosely a sci-fi poem with a kind of Blade Runner outlook, i.e. a futuristic Los Angeles. So there you go. That's Frank Black. I like it. The video is wild for this song.
Oh,
It starts off as like, this was like a decent sized hit for him. It was on like the modern rock charts and whatnot.
Yeah.
And the album he sold a decent number of them. It was on the Billboard 200, went to 117. So
All right.
not bad for this is back when
Yeah.
people were buying albums too,
Yeah.
but I forgot what I was. Oh, the video. The video is weird. It starts off as like kind of a trick where there's this like super 90s looking band playing, and like the drummer is like pointing at the camera with his drumstick,
Yeah.
and it's like a shy lens, like all this 90s stuff, and they're rocking out. And then it cuts to Frank Black like driving around in a giant hovercraft with a guitar on his back.
What?
And then most of the video is just him tooling around in this hovercraft. It's pretty weird. Directed by John Flansburgh, who is from They Might Be Giants.
Yeah, that's right.
Who are on my short list for this playlist.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, that came up for me too. Yeah.
yeah,
Didn't hit
We can talk about
my
that.
didn't hit my top 5. Must not have hit yours then. Short list.
same.
Yeah.
So I guess we can reveal what it is. Istanbul, not
course.
Constantinople.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. Cool one.
But yeah, so the guitar player from They Might Be Giants directed the weird hovercraft video.
How did he even get a hovercraft?
I don't know. I guess he rented or whatever.
It's not like, I mean, those are relatively big, and because
Decent size.
the hovercraft that I'm thinking of is like, did you ever watch Rumble in the Bronx, the Jackie Chan movie?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like that.
It's like that at the end of the
Yeah.
like that's not how do you I mean it just seems like it wouldn't be very very cheap to do, but yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they just rented it, right? Like you got to be able to rent. If you're the owner of a
guess, yeah.
hovercraft, you got to make your cash on it by renting it out to whoever needs it. How
What does
much
that
could
cost?
it be?
Yeah,
50
I guess
grand
'cause
a day? Like if you got a budget for a
Yeah.
music video,
yeah,
I mean,
I
it
guess
can't be that much, right?
I guess if you're still in, I guess you could say, right, you could justify that if you're going to pay 50,000 for the hovercraft.
Or
Yeah,
who knows,
you could
right?
justify that. Yeah. Yeah.
It's worth
But-
watching. The video's weird. Like when it cuts to Frank Black on the hovercraft, it looks like it was probably really fun to make,
Oh, right. Yeah.
So maybe they were just like, dude, what if we rented a hovercraft and just kind of like tooled around the desert or whatever?
yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, nice. Okay, yeah.
That's what I
Anything
got
else
for
with that
Frank Black. Mm-mm.
Cool. Well, we'll move on. Now listen, I felt like there weren't a lot of choices out there.
Yeah.
Preface.
Uh-huh.
This is a pretty good one. This is Motown Philly.
Back in school, we used to dream about this every day. Couldn't really happen. All those dreams just fade away. So we started a group, and here we are, kicking it just for you.
Say what you want about Boys to Men. It's a pretty tight song.
Dude, that's a good one. That's probably my favorite Boyz II Men song.
Oh, it's the only. I mean, it's End of the Road's all right.
It's
But
fine. It's just not my jam. I like the whatever, like New Jack Swing or
Yeah.
whatever it's called, like the
Yeah.
beat. And they're really good. Like you can't deny
Super
that Boyz
good.
II Men, super talented. And
Very
yeah, this was this their first hit?
Yeah, it's their first album, first hit. Yeah, they sent this one out as their first single, and this is what launched them. Of course, they had some help with Belle Biv DeVoe, and
Totally.
ABC, which they name check both of them in the song.
Mhm.
And Bivens actually or co-wrote this song anyway. So
Right.
had some help there. And
Yeah.
this is their most like Belle Biv DeVoe sounding songs. If they did more
Totally.
stuff like this, I'd be completely
Yep.
into it, like I am with Belle
Yeah,
Biv
yeah,
DeVoe.
yeah.
I love Poison. It's a great album.
Yep.
But yeah, no, they mostly just went to adult contemporary ballads after this.
Yeah. Which I think is probably what they wanted to do anyways, because they were a singing
Yeah.
group, right? I mean,
Yeah, they were right.
and they're really good at it. It's just
Super
I don't
good.
care about that. I do
Oh.
like this song though.
Don't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is really their only good. It's End of the Road's.
It's fine. This
no,
one,
no, no, no,
I
no.
like this one better.
It's not that. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. That's the one that's good. End of the Road sucks. But it's not. But I don't like it anywhere near as much as this one.
Right. No, this is a cool one.
Yeah.
And it had a good video.
Yeah, it had a good video. Right.
It's just like a party video, and then they go to the steak and cheese place, the whatever, the
do.
Geno's steaks, cheesesteak, I should say.
Yeah, because one of them there's a rivalry there, isn't there, with Geno's and one
Yeah,
of the other ones?
Geno's and Pat's, I think, and they're like right around the
Yeah.
corner from each other.
Uh,
But they like Geno's, right? Because they say in all the Geno's steaks you can
They
eat.
do,
right?
yes, in the song, right? So they must have
Yeah.
gone there. So they were showing their.
I'm
their
sure
true
they've been to
colors.
all of them.
How can you not?
Yeah. If you're
I don't
from there, you got to try them all, or you have
You
your
do.
own secret spot that's like actually the best one.
Yeah,
know?
you can't just name check the one and not test the other. Like you have to know
Right.
for sure whether one is
Yeah.
good or not. Yeah.
Mhm.
But Motown Philly, it's not specifically naming us, but we know what it's talking about. It's Philadelphia. It's a strange word, but it is. We are talking about Philadelphia.
Of course.
And
I mean, Philadelphia famously called Philly.
Philly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
I'm agreeing with you, Matt. This one definitely is a place.
Okay, good. I don't know why. I'm a little insecure about this one. Probably because this is the other songs are just such dog shit. Like I really, really hate this style of music.
One. Okay.
Wait, no. Well, this style of music I like, but the rest of the Boys to Men stuff, I really just like can't stand it. So like right now, On Bended Knee has like 170 million spins on.
I forgot about that one.
Right. And I think that one, they have like two of their number one hit. They have two number one hits that were two or three number one hits that were number one for like 13 and 14 weeks each. Like it's crazy how big their crappy music was.
Yeah.
And how like unimportant they are. Like they're not like, you don't really think of Boys to Men as like generational or like the top whatever band from a certain time period. You don't think of them in that context.
Right.
But they had huge numbers.
But I mean, as a vocal group, I guess they would be in the conversation for sure, right? I mean,
yeah, who else? There aren't that many. I mean, you could talk about the boy bands, maybe.
There's a lot of female vocal groups around that time too.
And I think they
like
would
En Vogue and SWV and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would think of En Vogue as like bigger than them, or any of the boy bands that came around this time and later. I would still think, like NSYNC, obviously they had tremendous heights or whatever, but or like who's the New Kids on the Block before them. It's like you think of them as iconic in a style, but you don't think of Boys to Men the same way.
No, Boys to Men were never like a phenomenon. They were just a popular singing group, right?
But
there was
super
no like
popular.
Yeah, totally.
To have number ones, and I think that was two of their songs. But then they also had a huge number one with what's her face, Mariah Carey.
Oh yeah. Oh right.
That was a huge one too. That was something that I don't know. It was like that might have been 15 weeks on the number one as well. But anytime you're doing songs with Mariah Carey, you're out with me. You're gone. Like, you're out. But yeah. What was that? One Fine Day, I think was the name of that one. You remember that one?
Oh, okay.
It's such a trash song too. So trashy. Yeah. But I don't know. They seem like good guys. I mean, I shouldn't
for sure
shit on them too much. And
you never hear bad things about them. Yeah, Motown Philly's good for sure.
Yeah. All right. Probably that'll be it for Boys to Men for me, I think, on any list. Unless we do like a bad list later on. But we should do an adult contemporary. Oof. Okay, so anyway, that's my 4. Should we go on to your number 3?
Yes, my number 3 is Big in Japan by Tom Waits.
There you go.
Yep. You know this one? You Tom Waits?
No, I hate Tom Waits, but that's just actually a song that I wouldn't immediately turn off. Like that's a really interesting song.
Yeah, I like that song a lot.
I like what they did to his voice there. What he did to his voice there, just like on it, and it's
kind of
cool,
like a Howlin' Wolf or something.
Yeah,
like nasally kind of almost throat singing vibe on there.
Yeah, they definitely distorted it, and there's something else.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this whole album is pretty dark and grungy sounding. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
this is off of Mule Variations. So this is 1999. This is his 13th album.
Wow.
So you don't like any Tom Waits?
I fucking hate that guy. Maybe there's some. I think every time I encounter his songs, it never appeals to me. But maybe there are some out there, and I just haven't hit them. But
there are some great ones.
Like what's his best?
This album won a Grammy for Best Contemporary Folk Album, Mule Variations. This is an excellent album, I think. There's other ones like from a little earlier, like Bone Machine is a really good album. Swordfish Trombones. He's got a ton of them.
Oh, what's a song? What's a song that you love that you think maybe would be a good?
I like this one. This is one of my jams by him. He's got a lot of different styles. He's got kind of like sensitive, like folk singer songs where it's like him and the piano or whatever. Those aren't my favorite. I like when he does like a monster voice or something like on this, and this has some cross contamination. So the band on this song is Primus. So Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's Brain on drums, and then of course Les Claypool and Lure Lalonde, and
Yeah.
then Tom Waits. So,
Oh.
but earlier, Tom Waits did the voice of Tommy the Cat on the Primus song "Tommy the Cat."
Tom
So
Waits
those
did
guys know each.
the voice for Tommy
Yeah.
the Cat? I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, that's the best thing he's ever
So-
done, then I would say.
If they're fine, I mean, I'm sure everyone must like a little bit of Tom Waits. He's a good actor. Like he's in a bunch of stuff.
He is.
Um,
Yeah. he
do you
is.
like him as an actor?
Yeah, I can't remember. I feel like he was in like a Blade movie. Probably wasn't that. He's been in some. I'm trying to think of the movies that he's
been
been
in a
in.
bunch of different stuff. What's the one? Down by Law. That's probably like the famous one of his.
I don't know that one.
Let me see. Yeah, Down by Law. It's a Jim Jarmusch film.
Yeah, Jarmusch doesn't. Okay, see, this is a.
He was in Coffee and Cigarettes.
Yeah, this is a subset of culture that I'm not a big fan. Like the Jarmusch stuff.
Oh, okay. You don't like any of that stuff.
Oh, well, I mean, Jarmusch just did. What did he do? He did a zombie movie a couple years ago that was one of the worst films I've ever seen. The Dead Don't Die is a Jarmusch movie, and it is literally a top 10 worst movie that I've ever seen. But I mean, he's done some. Yeah, oh, it is so bad. It's so bad. But he's probably done some others that I am less offended by. I know I've seen Tom Waits in movies before, but those two don't I don't remember those two.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought Coffee and Cigarettes is cool. It's kind of like a series of vignettes or whatever.
I don't know that one.
It's I don't know. That one's worth watching. It's a little different. It's not really much of a narrative. It's just kind of black and white vignettes of people hanging out, drinking coffee and smoking cigarettes and talking bullshit. And it's like I think like Iggy Pop's in it, and then Tom Waits.
Oh, maybe I saw it in college. Maybe resonates a little bit.
Right. Yeah, it would have been around that time. But so, I don't know. I like Tom Waits. I think he's pretty good. This album, Mule Variations, was pretty big for him. I mean, it got the Grammy for Best Contemporary Folk Album. Sold certified gold. I think 500,000 copies plus sold.
Yeah, big for him.
It's a good album. Yeah, it's a good album, and it's pretty rough around the edges, and it's got that kind of gruff sound that he's become known for.
Yeah.
But this Big in Japan song is cool. It's just a funny, whimsical kind of song about the concept of being big in Japan, which is a real thing. There's a bunch of bands that didn't make it in the West, but were big in Japan, literally, including one of your favorites. Bon Jovi was originally a Big in Japan band, and then they crossed over to the rest of the world.
Yeah, they should have stayed over there.
Yeah,
just defected. Filmography. Now I'm curious because you haven't given me any that I know. So Wolfen. Oh, I've seen him in that. The Outsiders. Yeah, I saw him in that. Rumblefish. Oh, that makes sense. Ironweed, Candy Mountain, Big Time, Cold Feet, Mystery Rain. The Two Jakes, definitely saw him in that. The Fisher King. Okay, some big ones. He was in Dracula. That's right.
Right.
I don't know. Coffee and Cigarettes. There goes my light again. That's crazy. The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, another piece of shit movie. Terry Gilliam, which is too bad because I'm a big Gilliam guy, but that movie sucks. Ballad of Buster Scruggs. I remember. Yeah, he was in that. Did not like that one. The Dead Don't Die. Yep, he was in that too. That is so. Yeah, you got to watch that movie if you haven't seen it. That Jarmusch film. It is. Oh my god! It has like the best cast you could ever want. Our buddy Buscemi's in there, but also Bill Murray, Adam Driver, Tilda Swinton, Danny Glover. Like it has a ridiculous cast. I was so excited to see this movie too. It looked like it was going to be a lot of fun, and it is so trashy. But I don't know what else. What's my issue with Jarmusch? I think he just there's something really pretentious about these hipsters.
Oh yeah, for sure. He's pretty pretentious.
Oh, you know what I did like with him is he did a black and white movie with Johnny Depp called Dead Man. I thought that was really cool. That was a cool one. Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai was shit.
I forgot about that movie.
Yeah.
Did RZA do the soundtrack for that?
Might have. That sounds right. What else did he do anything else? He's got another one
by RZA for Ghost Dog.
I didn't see Patterson. Only Lovers Left Alive. I might have seen that one. Because that's got Tilda Swinton in it and Tom Hiddleston. I think I saw that one. I don't remember it. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I think I saw Dead Man and I was like, oh, I really like this director. And then saw Ghost Dog and was like, this sucks. Don't ever do this to me again. Jaramush, is he a musician too? Does he do some music? I feel like he's a part of that.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, everyone plays guitar, right? Like, I'm sure he does. He looks like a rockabilly guy.
He does. Yeah. Yep. Kind of like a gaunt Rick Beato.
With bigger hair. With bigger hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sorry. I mean, we did some stuff about Tom there. Listen,
Hey, that's fine.
And then the other thing I asked you was just like, tell me some song, but I'll do my own research and I can give him a shot. I just don't know. Every time I encounter him, it's just not because I do like singer songwriter people.
Yeah,
there are, but for some reason he never resonated. And
well,
I
this
even like
album,
the raspy voice people.
Yeah, okay. I mean, Mule Variations is a pretty good place to start. It's a good album.
Okay, well that's the best
weird. It's got some weird stuff on it. And well, this is the first track too, so if you don't like it, you don't have to go very far to hear a track that's decent.
Yeah, this is the best one by far I've ever heard Tom Waits do.
All right.
It's him and like Leonard Cohen too, that guy.
Okay.
It's like I kind of put them in the same box. Maybe that's not fair, but I do.
Yeah. And some people go nuts. People go nuts for Leonard Cohen. I like some of his stuff, but I'm not like, it just doesn't really, I don't care that much.
There was like a song they did. It's almost like the Jazz Police or something or it's like the something like it's so cheesy. But anyway, I put them in the same place. They probably aren't though.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, no, they are. They're in the category of musicians you don't like.
Anything else you want to talk about with Tom Waits?
No, let's move on to your number 3.
All right. My number 3 is Leaving Las Vegas. Again, I'm confronted with another artist that I don't really like very much.
But
I
didn't like Sheryl Crow.
No, but there are a couple songs that are like really decent. This is one of the better ones. It's basically there's a few on the first album that I like, and kind of after that, it's crappy. And it makes sense because all of the good people who created that first album, she then like screwed over and went on her own way and made worse music because of it. So that's what happened. So this is off of her debut, which is the Tuesday Night Music Club. Is that what it's called? Something like that.
Yeah, Tuesday Night Music Club.
Yeah, which is reference to the group of musicians that would get together on Tuesday nights to workshop their songs. And
didn't they play on the album too?
Yes.
And then she hosed them. Like it should be called
hosed.
You know, like Sheryl Crow featuring, or whatever, and Tuesday Night Music Club or whatever. Because she just it's kind of stolen valor for Sheryl Crow.
Stolen valor. Yeah. And then you see the same thing happen again because the group of musicians that were on her second album, she screwed them over too and moved on.
Oh,
she's also she's not a very good writer on her own. And I don't understand this about Sheryl Crow. So here we are. She's made my list of my top 5 list here. And now I'm like ranting against her. So this is just typical Matt, I guess. Fine. But like, I don't understand the whole Sheryl Crow thing. She's number one. Okay. She is a knockout. She's a beautiful woman, absolute like beautiful woman. So okay, fine, you can use that as a bit of an explanation. But she has a not very good voice. She has a hard time singing in tune, and it's not even it's not an attractive voice either. It's not like it's like sonically
nothing
pleasing.
Particularly compelling about it. Yeah,
no, it's also kind of shrill and weird. And most of her songs, besides a few on this one, are really kind of crappy. But she had all this momentum. Like she was a backup singer for Michael Jackson on tour. She sang backups on albums for like Belinda Carlisle and stuff, before any of this happened. And it's like, I can understand the backup dancer because again, she's a knockout. She's a beautiful woman, but backup singer, like I don't get how that happened. She can't sing in tune. She doesn't sound good. I feel like she would stick out too. Like if you had 3 women singing harmonies behind Michael Jackson or something, her like shrill ass voice would
it's
stick
like
out.
Maybe you just need in an ensemble, maybe you just need a little bit of that flavor in there and it sounds good with other people singing. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
It's possible. I'm saying it's a possibility. I'm not saying that that's what's happening.
Yeah, she's kind of the oboe of the backup.
Yeah,
singer,
right. Yeah, you got to use a little bit of it. Too much is too much.
Too reedy. But it's kind of a bummer too because the guy, one of the guys who co-wrote the song, and her boyfriend at the time was Kevin Gilbert. And I might have mentioned him on the show before, but Kevin Gilbert was a phenomenal musician, had a great voice, very Peter Gabriel's voice. In fact, Genesis was going to get him to sing vocals for them on tour. Phil was like, this is like 1994 or something. They were replacing Phil, and they were going to bring him in, and he killed himself. He didn't kill himself on purpose. It was the sexual, deviancy of autoerotic asphyxiation.
Oh, he did a Michael Hutchence,
and killed himself when he's 29 years old, which sucks because he was a fantastic musician. So that's a bummer. And she screwed him over too. Broke up with him like right after her album came out and was sold 12 million copies or something, and did her own thing.
Yikes
Indeed. So
no, this is a pretty good song though.
It's not a bad song. I like and All I Want to Do is a good song too. Like it's a really nicely written song. We've heard it a billion times.
I think that one is the best use of her vocally, I think.
Yes.
It's like she kind of just talks through most of the verse,
She does.
It's not really, and it's like it's not a difficult song to sing. You know what I mean? Like I think she sounds best on that song.
Yeah. She does. And that song's recorded really well too. It has a great drum recording on there. I think my favorite is probably Strong Enough, even though, it is largely, I know. It's nice though. It's got a nice little, it's a 3/4. It's unexpected.
It's a nice song. It's a little schlocky for me.
I guess sometimes it touches me, Briggs. Like Kevin Gilbert touching himself, but I'm not going to commit suicide doing it.
That's rough.
Shit. Anyway, so another band on my list that I then shit on, but she won't make. I just think she was super overrated. I don't understand that whole phenomenon. Besides her being a beautiful woman, she also just seemed she seemed like a bad partner. So I don't get it, but it happened, and here we are.
It definitely happened. I mean, she's famous. She's still a big name. She doesn't do anything anymore, does she? I haven't seen or heard anything from Sheryl Crow in a while.
Yeah, she had this cancer stuff in her 40s, and then I think she released an album maybe in 2018 or something, but now she's in her 60s. It's kind of, maybe she does the odd thing, but
she's on TikTok.
Maybe. I don't think I'm going to find out.
Yeah. Right on.
Anyway, so that's my number 3.
Cool. Moving on to my number 2. My number 2, if you know, you know. This is Albuquerque by Weird Al Yankovic.
People, it wasn't long at all before my dream came true, because the very next day a local radio station had this contest to see who could correctly guess the number of molecules in Leonard Nimoy's bust. I was off by 3, but I still won the grand prize. That's right, a first-class one-way ticket to Albuquerque. Albuquerque.
Have you heard this song?
Yeah, of course.
Do you know the deal? Okay.
I don't know the deal. I can't remember what album was this from too.
This is Running with Scissors from 1999. Right. It's the one with All About the Pentiums.
Yes.
Which was a big album. It sold a ton of copies, but this is a funny song. It's the longest song that Weird Al ever recorded. It's 11 minutes and 23 seconds. And it's just like a long, dumb story about this guy's life and exploits.
Yeah.
And occasionally there's the chorus in there, but he goes to Albuquerque and then he lives in Albuquerque. But it's one of these hard driving rock narratives, like a George Thorogood kind of thing, like one bourbon, one scotch, one beer, or whatever, when he's like leaning against the post because he's tired or whatever.
Yeah.
But it just goes on and on and on. And it's surprisingly engaging for the whole 11 and a half minutes. But Weird Al originally had the idea, like he recorded the song and he was going to edit it down, because it was too long or whatever. And he's like, no way, we'll just leave it on there and try to just annoy the audience for 11 and a half minutes. But it's not super annoying. It's a pretty fun song. It became kind of a fan favorite.
We'll see what the listeners at home, when they get the podcast version of this, when they actually get the whole 11-minute version of it, we'll see what they do with it. I think I gave them, I don't know if it was last episode or the episode before, where it was Rapper's Delight. I gave him the whole thing, and it was maybe
Oh,
the
okay.
whole thing's what is that, like 13-minute too? That's a huge.
Is it
it's a
that long? Yeah, it's pretty
huge
long.
one. Yeah, they're pretty psyched about that, but they'll be psyched to hear the full version, the full Al version too.
It's pretty good. If you like Weird Al, man, this is a pretty good example of his humor on one of his original songs. This was a big album. This is a platinum album. Running with Scissors sold over 1 million copies.
Yeah.
Peaked at number 16 on the Billboard 200.
Wow.
He's sold over 12 million albums.
I would have guessed higher.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, in fact, the bands that are coming up for me too, I have some album counts there that I'm going to ask you about. I'm going to ask you to tell me how many you think, because they shocked me. Both of them did, but 12 million seems low for him.
For a parody guy?
Yeah, but all of his songs are so famous. Like they're so famous. You can name 10 easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. But I guess a lot of people just maybe enjoyed the videos and didn't buy the albums. I don't know. I had cassettes for sure.
Yeah, I had 2 of them. I had Fat and I can't remember what other one.
I mean, but he's got 6 platinum records, 4 gold records, 5 Grammy awards. Like he's in the zeitgeist. I guess a lot of people would, I don't know if people bought singles, or maybe they just didn't buy it because he just watched it on MTV.
Yeah, right. Because it takes a certain type to jam to it.
Fat is way better when you watch the video.
Absolutely.
Way
better.
So, I don't know. But Weird Al's pretty great.
Oh, it wasn't Fat. What was the album?
Opportunity to include him on the list.
I appreciate that you did that, but Fat wasn't the album. It was was it? What was the album? It was what was the album? Shoot, I don't remember. But yeah, no. I mean, if you love Weird Al, then I definitely support him. I've definitely bought 2 records. I'm just surprised that it didn't. I'm just surprised it didn't sell more than that. So. Yeah. Briggs, what was the album name with Fat on it though? I just said the wrong thing.
The one with
it wasn't it like Even Worse. Is that the name of the album?
I think so. Yeah,
like
with
that,
him with the fat suit.
Yeah, I just it was a Michael Jackson thing. I think was the
Even Worse is
okay.
Correct.
Good. Yeah, I definitely had that one, and then I had another one. But I can't remember what it was.
I had Weird Al in 3D. I had Even Worse. I had Polka Party. I had a bunch of them.
Yeah. Well, good.
I did not have Running with Scissors. I don't know if I had aged out of it or whatever. I definitely appreciated the Pentium song. And I listened to it later on, but I never bought it.
Right. No, that's a good one. And I'm glad we got him on
Albuquerque. The list. Yeah, for sure.
Should we move on to my number 2?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. It's Omaha.
Heart that matters more. Think you better turn your ticket.
Of course, Omaha by Counting Crows.
Counting Crows, right?
Out in 1993 on the album August and Everything After. And Briggs, I kind of think that Counting Crows are forgotten. What do you think about that?
Yeah, a little bit. They had like 3 big hits. They had like multiple hits.
More than that. Yeah. Because
like I'm saying like big hits though. They had like Mr. Jones, Round Here.
Yeah.
What was the other one?
Long December.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
They had a few albums with hits. Rain King was a big one too. Mr. Jones, Round Here, Rain King, A Murder of One. Those were all singles off this record. 3 of them were top 40 hits. And then they had a Long December. I think there was another one off their follow-up album. They also had a song Colorblind. But then later on in the 2000s, they had what's the stupid song from Shrek? The Something in Love, like
Accidentally in Love.
Accidentally in Love. And then they had the cover of Big Yellow Taxi, which was a big hit for them too.
Right.
So you see all that and you're like, but they're kind of forgotten, you know?
Yeah, they're very of that time. Like they sound like
They sound like early 90s. Yeah, early to mid 90s. They really do. But this album was huge. Like it was huge. And it had 2 Grammy nominations. And there was a bidding war for this band before they even signed. Like there was a 9-record company bidding war based on their demos for a lot of they demoed a bunch of these tracks, and got into a huge bidding war and signed signed like a huge contract. It was millions of dollars. But for some reason that, and then like the famous stuff because of the movies called I think my favorite song I love this song, Omaha. This is the best song on the album. So good. It's such a beautiful song, but I think my favorite is maybe the song Colorblind, which also, it's a super pretty song. It was in a movie.
Okay.
But they did, they had big movie songs and they had like big commercial hits, but I just think that I don't know. And it's not like they're still making music. They still tour. They still play. Like they're just
right. It's not like no one died. They didn't break up or whatever. Right. Yeah. I haven't heard about them in forever. I don't know. It's never really my band. It wasn't. I didn't care for. I didn't like Mr. Jones, so I kind of wrote them off, I guess. I thought he had. I don't like his voice. I think he's kind of an annoying voice.
He does. Yep. But I really liked this album at the time. I listened to it today again, and I was like, I mean, there's not a lot on it that I like, but Omaha, I love this song.
Probably sounds great though. T-Bone Burnett produced it.
Yeah, it sounds really, really, really good. Yeah.
And
he had a podcast. Did you turn me on to it? Adam Duritz's podcast?
No.
He did a music podcast.
Oh.
I think it was like during COVID or maybe a few years before. He is Adam Duritz is a super smart guy. He knows so much, and I mean, you love music. I highly recommend checking out his podcast. I don't know that he still does it, but he did like a series on various artists, and they're awesome. Like he's a super smart guy. Knows a lot of stuff. So really like that. Yeah.
Check that out.
But I don't know what else to say. I just think they, so I want to ask you, how many records do you think that they sold?
I just saw that the August and Everything After album sold like 7 million. So I don't know. Did they get to 20 million records?
Yeah, I think it's around 20 million, but that seems light to me. Like that seems really light. Yeah, based on
they had what, 3 albums?
They've had more than that, but I think their first 3 albums had the hits. But then you think about the Shrek, and you think about the Big Yellow Taxi cover, and they were just those were huge. So 20 million just seems really light. And like just based on how big they were at the time, like. I mean, everybody knew them at the time,
and that's when everyone was buying albums too.
Yeah, so I don't know why 20 million just seems very light, but that's what I've got. So that was surprising to me.
That seems in the zone for me.
Yeah, well,
I guess I'm not that surprised by that. It's a lot of albums.
Because like Spin Doctors probably sold 10, and you're like, this is a band that had way more longevity than Spin Doctors did, or like Blues Traveler probably sold 15 million copies or something, and you're like,
no way, not that many, huh?
You don't think so?
No, maybe I'm wrong.
I mean,
looks like Spin Doctors sold about 12 million records.
Okay, not bad.
So, not 20. Yeah,
So what about Blues Traveler then? Maybe you can pull that out, but I just think like they only sold twice as many albums as Spin Doctors. Little Miss Can't Be Wrong.
Blues Traveler, 13 million albums worldwide.
Okay, I guess 20. So that's still that's crazy to me too. Blues Traveler, I would have thought,
I know,
really significantly outsold stupid Spin Doctors, but I guess not.
Yeah, right. Well, they had a lot more albums. Blues Traveler was like a band for many years before they got popular.
Yeah, that's true.
They were on like the jam band circuit.
Or like Black Crowes, it seems, would be bigger than either one of those, but they probably only sold 10 million or something.
No way. They must have sold at least 20 million.
I don't know. I'm having a hard time believing any of these numbers. They just don't seem. I think probably based on how important these bands were to me at the time, maybe is how I'm
30 million albums, 30 million for Black Crowes. That seems reasonable. That makes sense to me because they had like at least 3 really big albums.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if it was 3. They had
what's that? Shake Your Moneymaker.
Shake Your Moneymaker is the big
that one was
right?
big, right?
Yeah, but then they had like Amorica
something,
which that didn't I don't think that sold that much. I really think
Huh.
Shake Your Money Maker was the kind of the big one. Anyway, if they sold 30, I'm super surprised the Counting Crows haven't sold 30. That doesn't make sense to me.
Huh.
Counting Crows seem bigger than the
Really?
Black
I
Crowes
feel like Black Crows are bigger and remembered more.
not commercially though. They like
Really? I feel like I would hear like Hard to Handle on the radio before I'd hear Mr. Jones or something.
oh, I don't know. Mr. Jones was a bigger hit than Hard to Handle was.
Yeah, but
think.
like Hard to Handle, I think has like staying power.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Cause like that on you, I would imagine then that's got to be around the same time.
Yeah, I think so.
I would imagine that if any like compilation album from the 90s would have from the decade would have Mr. Jones on it as like a signature song from the 90s.
Yeah, okay, I would believe that for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I don't know if yeah, I don't know if I would put any Black Crows on there.
As
Maybe.
a signature. Yeah, well then that kind of speaks to my point though. It has more
Yeah.
staying power. It's less
Yeah,
of the
maybe.
time, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I just don't really like Counting Crows.
I don't blame you. Yeah, I can understand why you wouldn't. I think the writing is really good, and his voice can be annoying. But if I
Yeah,
put
it's
him in
not
a
for me.
particular, if I put him in like a Van Morrison type of place, or like
Oh,
I can,
okay.
or like or the band type of place, I can kind of
Uh-huh.
see it. Anyway, but this song I love, and a couple of them I love. But yeah, I don't. Yeah, the album doesn't hold up as well as I thought it might when I was listening to it today.
Fair enough.
But this song's good.
Yeah. Cool. You want to move on to my number one?
Yeah, this is the big one.
Yeah, my number one is California Love by Tupac and Dr. Dre.
Yeah, it's iconic,
It's classic.
classic, shortlisted.
There's a lot of
for me.
Yeah, there's a lot of songs about California. This is one of the best ones, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yep. Good one.
This was Tupac's comeback single after he got out of jail and signed with Death Row Records. And it's awesome production. This is a classic Dre beat. I think it's great.
Oh yeah, killer production.
Cool samples, weird. I was surprised when I looked this up. So like the chromatic ascending, that's from a Joe Cocker song.
No.
Weird, right? Yeah,
Do you know
Joe
which one?
Cocker. Yeah, Woman to Woman.
Huh, I don't-
1972.
not
It's
familiar with that one.
he just sped it up a little bit or whatever Dre did. But it's literally just the song opens up with that groove, and he
Wow.
snatched it and sped it up a little bit. And then you got Roger Troutman from Zapp, who does the talk box California knows how to
Yeah.
party part, which he
Yeah.
was famous for. He's like super influential in like especially like West Coast hip hop.
Yep.
A lot of people sampled Roger from Zapp, but he's actually on it on this and it's weird. It's kind of like he's doing a version of a song called West Coast Pop Lock by Ronnie Hudson and the Street People,
Okay.
which was an interpol, and they sing that California knows how to
Yep.
party in the city of LA, all that stuff. But that was taken from one of Roger's previous songs called So Rough. So it's weird. So
They
he's
go
like
back and forth.
singing a version of something that was a version of something that he did previously.
Yeah, right.
But whatever, it's an awesome hook, and he sounds
It
great
is.
on the talk box. He's usually playing it through like a mini Moog or something like that, and like he does all kinds of vocoder talk boxy kind of stuff, which is
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
It is. Yeah.
This was a number one hit. It was a big, huge hit. Tupac's awesome on it. Dre's really good. I know a lot of people kind of shit on Dre as a rapper, but
not the best rapper.
I don't know. I like the sound of his voice. Like I like the cut of his jib as well, Matt.
Yep.
I like Dre, and you know what? Fuck the haters, dude.
That's right.
I think Dre is totally fine as a MC.
He's fine. It's not like he's bad. He's fine.
No, but his
He's just
production
not-
is so awesome.
It is. Yeah.
And then you know, he's a producer who can rap and control the maestro or whatever he says in the other song.
That's right.
Yeah, Dre's pretty good. This was a big hit. This is number one. And unfortunately, Tupac died relatively shortly after.
Oh, it's probably killed by Diddy. We're not spreading
Murdered.
rumors.
Yep. No,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that's a rumor at this point. I mean,
I don't know.
it's-
he's accused.
Allegedly, let's say allegedly by some folks. Did he put the hit out?
Yeah,
Diddy
I mean, you
also
and I
may have put the hit out on Biggie as well. Man, more stuff keeps coming out about this Diddy thing.
I know.
It's
I know.
wild.
I was thinking about this after we did Quantum Week last week, where because one of our first episode coming back for Quantum Week, we talked about Diddy song.
Yeah.
And yeah, we talked about this for this was probably when was this? Like February or something. When
something
a
like
lot
that.
of the shit started to come out. But
yeah,
and I said at the time, like, oh yeah, he's being accused of potentially taking out Tupac. And I mean, so I'm still gonna say accused of, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's what comes
seems
out.
Like the
Seems
truth
like
will come out. If you according to Cat Williams, man, 2024 is the year all the truth is coming out.
I hope it does.
Everything will be revealed.
Need a lot of truth happening.
More and more stuff keeps coming out about this whole Diddy thing, which is wild.
I know. I want to see.
Unfortunate,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's a real shame because like Tupac was such a talent.
He was. Yeah. Yeah. Compared to Diddy,
he was only 25. Yeah, no, Diddy sucks. He's just good at making money and killing people and getting away with it for 30 years.
Yeah. Or being the right.
The orchestrator, right? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, he's not smart enough. Like, there's people above him that are the orchestrators, and that's the scary part. Is you think about all these super connected, very wealthy individuals who control media, both like the record companies and who own media outlets, and you just wonder. I just wonder how far it goes and how far we'll get. Like, I really hope it all gets uncovered. Like, we need to peel this whole thing back. Because once we find the crossover to Epstein, which I'm pretty sure there's gonna be because they both do the same thing, right? Hopefully, we'll start to uncover. I mean, we all know what happened with Epstein. We all know like his ties to CIA and Mossad and et cetera. So we know that, but it just hasn't really. It's not in pop culture that's what happened. Like there's there's silence over it. So, but we need to start seeing how all of those fit together. And uncover it all so we can kind of move on and heal. But yeah, like it's all gross. It's like a pedophile ring or all sorts of it's gross. Yeah, I hate these people.
Yeah,
these Epsteins and these Diddys. Yeah, I mean it's just
Diddy's
so gross. And like the fact
really
that they get
gross.
away with it because they're connected
so
and
long.
they can make and break careers and I just so gross. But they're just part of it. I mean, there's just a lot of super powerful people who are doing the same. They're all just have some sick way about them. And I hope it all comes out, but we'll see.
Agreed. It's a shame. Tupac was only 25.
So
crazy
young.
how much he did. Like all the movies he was in and everything too. Like wild.
Huge
he sold
talent.
75 million records, by the way.
That's
Tupac's
crazy. Yeah. As a 25-year-old, I mean, I'm sure.
He had two albums that were diamond certified.
It's crazy. He would have had such a killer career.
I know. He was so young. And he was already so good, really a shame.
Yeah. Sucks. Screw you, Diddy.
Yep. Yeah, right.
Oh, he's gonna have it. Yeah, he's not gonna. He'll probably get killed. So we'll see.
You never know, right? I mean, it's a legitimate possibility.
Probably how it'll be, but we'll see. Yep. Hopefully not before a lot of shit comes out.
Before the truth comes out, yeah, right?
Yeah. Good one though. Shall we move on to my number one?
Yes.
I wonder if this even came up for you. This is Planet Home. Jamiroquai from back in the day.
Yeah.
1999.
Snuck it in there. I don't think I have ever heard that song.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I was never a big Jamiroquai guy. I only know the video where he's running around on the treadmills or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a cool video though, right?
It is a cool video.
Yeah.
And this was the era of big hats as well, right?
He had a big hat
on.
Yeah. He did. Well, their follow-up album to that one was called I can't name it. Well, what is this? It's from, oh yeah, Synchronized
Is
is the
this
name of
from
the album.
Synchronized? A Funk Odyssey, I think, was their next one.
And it had Canned Heat, which was their opening track, which is another great one. Are you familiar with that one?
Okay.
Got Canned
Mhm.
Heat on my heels tonight, baby. Such a great song. It was in the Napoleon Dynamite movie.
Oh,
Napoleon
okay.
Dynamite
So maybe I've heard
famously
it
does
then.
his like
Oh, that's what
his
he
dance.
dances to? Is the
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yep.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
definitely heard that then.
I love this song though. Planet Home, so good. They so written by their lead singer guy, the guy with the hat, who's who's on treadmills in the video. JK is his name, and he's
Okay.
pretty much the only surviving member. They're all alive, or they're alive, but like it's his Jamiroquai's his, and so
Right.
you know he's had a number of lineup changes through the year, but he very good writer, great vocalist, you know, good front man for this, but yeah, it was released as a single. I think it charted very low in the in the United States, but charted much bigger in the UK. They were
That makes
bigger there
sense.
than they were here. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
I mean,
that's where they're from, right?
yeah, yeah, right. So, given what you know about Jamiroquai, how many albums do you think they've sold?
I'm gonna guess 12 million. Do you know have the number?
26 million
Whoa!
records.
That
So that's
one blows my mind.
that's
That
6
blows
million
my
more than
mind.
the Counting Crows.
Yeah.
Like how?
That's crazy because I feel like Counting Crows is a more remembered band than
That's what I'm
Jamiroquai,
saying.
right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
Jamiroquai
Jamiroquai is technically like, kind of like in the US anyways, they got to be like a one-hit wonder, right?
pretty much. I think I don't know. 'cause
Depends on how
Canned Heat-
tight your criteria is.
Right. I don't know what Canned Heat. Canned Heat was famous, and so was Planet Home. These two songs definitely got some radio play. I don't know how high they charted. It was probably pretty low. They might not have cracked the top 40. So I guess technically, but they were. I mean, they were kind of big. They had a moment for a few years. They were on.
Yeah.
They were doing. I don't know if they were doing like Warped Tours or that type of stuff, but they had a moment in the 90s that was like
Yeah.
like they were pretty well known. So
Right. Well, they might not have had a hit single, or they had that Virtual Insanity one, but
Yeah.
But they were like a jam band. Like people go to the shows and buy the record, right? Like I would imagine
Yeah.
they sold a lot of albums that way.
I guess, yeah, but nowhere near what Counting Crows. I couldn't have. It doesn't.
Yeah,
make
it's
sense to me.
crazy
Yeah,
because the album with Virtual Insanity on it sold like 8 million,
that's crazy to me. It
which
doesn't
is a
seem
good chunk.
huge chunk. I mean that was all over MTV. It
Yeah.
was such a famous video, so maybe that's what did it. But that seems like a huge number for them.
Yeah, but
8
then
million.
maybe they were just like on the heels of that
I
with the
guess.
Synchronized album. And how many did that sell?
I don't know, but-
I'm not finding it here.
Yeah, but Synchronized has at least 2 or 3 songs on it that people know. Though,
Yeah.
where I think Virtual Insanity. I think that's the only song that people know from the first album.
Right, yeah, for sure. I mean, that's the only song I could name check by Jamiroquai.
Yeah, I wish they were better than they were. Like they have some good. They're very top heavy. They've got some really good songs, and then after that, it's just kind of like eh.
Yeah.
But
I
I
was like,
really
where
like
did the
this
rest of the
one.
records come from? So this Synchronized album looks like it sold somewhere around 3 million. So then you're up to 11 for those
Yeah.
two albums. How do you get to 26 without any more hits?
I don't know. That's what Wiki said. I think I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure when I went to
No,
the
I saw it also. It's just surprising.
maybe it's more worldwide. Maybe the 3 millions in
Yeah.
the US and they're not showing.
No, it
some
said
of the
3
other
million
numbers.
worldwide
So I don't
on
know.
Wiki.
Yeah, that seems. They have a few more. They must have a few more albums though, but I don't know.
Yeah, they definitely do.
So maybe
Their first album sold more than 1 million.
okay, that's 12. But even
Yeah.
they've got 3 or 4
But that's
more
like not
albums.
even halfway there
It's not even halfway
without
there.
a big hit. Like, how's it?
I don't know how
Wow.
that works. It doesn't make sense to me.
Hey, good
That's-
for them. They got paid.
I mean, good for them. And I think they're a very talented band. Like the production on this album
Yeah.
is super good. It's like really, really tight.
Mhm.
And I like it. I like his voice.
Yeah, this is a band that I would like to go see live. I wouldn't really buy an album or listen to an album, but I would definitely go see them if they're
Fun.
playing.
Super fun live.
Yeah, it better be good. Did you ever see them?
No, but I would imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, they played like MTV Music Awards. I think they played the
Sure.
Grammys. And
They played Coachella in 2018.
yeah, I bet it
So
still
they're
holds
still
up.
kicking around. That's relatively recently.
The music doesn't sound old. It doesn't sound dated.
Right.
Like this
No.
works now, right?
Yeah. I mean, it sounds
Yeah.
like a jam band with electro influence or whatever, it sounds like what
Right.
it is,
Yeah.
but it doesn't sound like of a period really, I guess. And neither did that Virtual Insanity song, because that had kind of a throwback vibe at the time.
It did. Yeah. So it kind of works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he did a lot. They did. I think he played one of the award shows, and they even used the conveyor belt type thing. They even used the what are those things called?
Oh yeah, the whatever. I don't know whether it's a treadmill.
Treadmills. Yeah, they used. I think he was like all over. He was like dancing on the treadmill and stuff,
or what?
which different
Yeah,
treadmills.
that's moving around the room.
It was pretty.
It is
cool.
a cool video. That video is pretty iconic.
It is. Yeah, but sold a lot more records than I thought. So
Yeah, crazy. That's a lot.
That's Jamiroquai.
Mhm.
So what did we miss?
There's a bunch of them. There were some other big hits. So like I mentioned Istanbul, not Constantinople.
Yep.
That's not a hit, but it was memorable. There's some bad ones. What's Tennessee by Arrested Development?
I forgot about that one. That's 90s?
Yeah, 92.
Wow. I guess I pictured them more like 89, but yeah, that one doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
I'm still thirsty.
Yeah, I mean, I like that song. I think that's pretty good. One song that I don't really care for from 1991 is Walking in Memphis.
Yeah, that almost made my top 5. Almost did. It was right in there. I know you don't like it, but I think it's a good one.
Yeah,
you just
fine.
Are you a Bruce Hornsby guy or no?
I like Bruce Hornsby.
All right. Same. I'm surprised that I thought that maybe Bruce Hornsby.
I like him as like a piano player more than like a singer.
Yeah, but like his songs, like
they're fine. I like his musicality more than his voice. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he's really good. He's a really good piano player.
Very good piano player, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I did like that song, but then I listened to it again today, and I'm like, it can't hit my top 5. But I do like that song, Walking in Memphis. I had that album. I liked it. As a kid. Yeah, but I can understand that that's not your thing. I mean, it's definitely it's definitely pretty cheesy singer songwriter.
Yeah, it just doesn't really do it for me. I mean, it's fine. It's whatever. What else do we have? This song I think could qualify for one of the most 90s songs, Santa Monica by Everclear.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't really like that song.
Yeah, not my thing. There's Around the World, which is the Daft Punk song.
Oh yeah, okay.
Not a big fan of that one. It's just kind of annoying.
Yeah, same. I stuck to mostly like cities or states or countries, like not the like the world. The world is clearly a place.
Right.
But I guess you could do the moon or Mars or whatever too.
There were a few of those that I didn't choose.
Yeah, sure. Like what's a couple other ones? I got Miami by Will Smith. Remember that one?
Yeah, I thought that was 2000s
Welcome
though.
to Miami. 97.
Oh,
that's on Big Willie Style.
Oh, of course it is. Yes, I do remember that one. That would have worked. There was Youngstown, which is Bruce Springsteen, 97. Not a bad song.
There's
Philadelphia
a couple of
too.
Streets of Philadelphia, two Bruce Springsteen ones.
Yeah, which is a good one. That almost made my top 5.
Yeah.
I didn't just choose. I went a little bit. There's Welcome to the Terror Dome, which is Public Enemy. That's a place.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, sure.
It's a good one.
I believe it.
Have you ever been to one?
No, I haven't been to a Terror Dome.
I haven't been to one either, but it exists.
Yeah.
Pluto by Bjork.
Oh, I missed that one.
That's off of Homogenic. That's a super cool song. But didn't hit up there. Daytona 500 is a Ghostface Killah song.
Oh, okay. I missed that one
today.
I did have New York State of Mind by Nas. That's a pretty good song.
Right. Yeah, that's a good one.
What about Don't Cry for Me, Argentina by Madonna?
Is that not a older song though?
I guess, but it's a Madonna version. I don't know. Who wrote that?
That's I don't know. Isn't it like from way back?
Is that from the 70s?
I was thinking like isn't it from a musical from a long time ago?
Yeah, from Evita, which Madonna did. They did like
Well, when was Evita written?
That one was from the 70s, but Madonna did it in the 90s.
No, I know that. I thought Evita maybe was even older than that as a musical.
Oh, I see.
But maybe not.
I think it's 78.
Okay. Yeah, right. I wouldn't. That
from
might not.
1996, and it's got Argentina in the title. I don't care for the song, but it's on my short list of songs.
I guess
Here's
we'll
another one
count
that
it.
I don't really like, Malibu by Hole.
Yeah, I don't know that one. I think
You're
I think I
better
saw
off
it.
for it.
Yeah, Hole
Yeah.
sucks.
It's not great. This is when they were doing like they were trying to do more alternative pop tunes, and this one's just kind of schlocky. It's not very good.
The worst one though,
What?
is The Crossroads by Bone Thugs and Harmony. You know that one? So
I do remember that one. Interesting. I guess the Crossroads is a place.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Such a
I missed
terrible
that
song.
one.
Terrible song. I think I had to go further out than because
Okay.
I considered, I didn't put it on there, but I considered like Planet Telex, which is a Radiohead song. I considered
Oh, okay.
what else did I got here? Roads by Portishead, because I'm like, because
Oh,
I just
okay.
couldn't find a lot that I liked
Right.
in that were places that were like,
Yeah. There's a
There's-
ton. There's a lot more in other decades, I think.
I think so. I think we got we
Yeah.
shafted ourselves in the 90s.
Right. Yeah.
little bit.
Maybe we'll have to do the 70s next or something. The 70s has some big ones for sure.
Yeah, maybe Planet Home is the most far out that I did, because Las Vegas, Omaha, those are both towns. Motown, Philly, that makes sense. South Side, talking about South Side
Yep.
of New York. So I guess those were all kind of right down the middle, where
Mhm.
my number one was not, but that's okay.
It's fine. I think Planet Home is fine. In the 90s were tough. I mean, there was a lot. There weren't that many that were good, I think.
No, did you have any other work? Did you have a worst one besides the Don't Cry For Me, Argentina?
Let's see, like Californication by Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Is that 90s? Is that 99?
That's 99.
Wow. For some reason,
Yeah,
I
I
put
know,
that in
right?
the 2000s too.
Yeah.
There's
There's also Vancouver by Jeff Buckley.
I don't know that
was,
song.
it was on one of those, like the ones that came out after he died or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like the sketches for my sweetheart the drunk or whatever it's
Right.
called.
Yeah.
I think it's on that one.
Yeah.
Sounds like Jeff Buckley.
Right. I
You
might
know,
like
not
it then.
iconic, but yeah, I mean, it's worth a listen if you're a fan.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty much everything that I had. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it too. I maybe I came up with like 20, which usually I can get, if I wanted to, 50 or 100,
Right.
But
Right.
there
Yeah.
weren't that
20.
many.
I had about 20 and it was tough. And a couple of them are questionable.
Yep. All right, that's how I feel about it. So I don't
Yeah.
love these songs. This was not my favorite list. All very top heavy.
No, it's a tough one.
with my top two, I think, are definitely my favorite. But the other ones are like a little bit, not my favorites. That's all I would say. Not my favorite
Yeah.
list, Briggs.
Fair enough. They can't all be your favorite, Matt.
No, they can't. All right. Anything else that we missed or you want to talk about with ultimate 90 songs about places playlist?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. Well, then, yeah, next week we're back with Quantum Week, and then we have Ultimate Playlist again 2 weeks from now. But for everybody who's watching or listening at home, thanks, and we will check you on the next one. Ciao.